Thank you, Mr Deputy President. On Sunday the 20th of August, I attended the United Services Union Women's Conference in the newly opened Western Sydney Conference Centre. The Women's Conference is a yearly event organised by the USU Women's Committee and their convener, Sandy Morthen. The conference gives women the ability to have a voice in an environment where opinions are encouraged and participation in discussions is supported. One of the women who attended the USU Women's Conference this year was Ruth Smallwood. Ruth has been a USU delegate at Essential Energy since 2018. She's an integral part of the makeup of delegates that support Essential Energy members across New South Wales, who extend across 95% of our state. Ruth assists and advocates for USU members in customer service. Ruth also represents all USU members at Essential Energy through her involvement on various committees and working groups, and is the branch secretary for the USU Energy Branch Committee of Management. She is a tireless advocate for workers. On the 18th of August in 2020, Ruth was asked by the Department of Community and Justice to pick up her 23-month-old grandchild from daycare. This started the permanent care arrangement where she had to take over the full-time care of her grandchild. Like almost 55% of all kinship carers, Ruth was female, single, and in her 50s. She was also working full-time. Ruth knew this would be a huge task, but never for one moment did she hesitate to take this on. With the help of her USU organiser, Melissa, and her local manager, Ruth was able to negotiate flexibility in her role to accommodate the additional responsibilities, which later was renegotiated to a whole new role for Ruth, providing the flexibility she needed. While her role was eventually sorted, when Ruth applied for parental leave to allow her time to sort out all of her legal requirements for her grandson, she found that she was not eligible for parental leave. This was a real blow for Ruth, as she was then forced to take personal carers leave instead. In addition, she found the process of being formally recognised as her grandchild's legal guardian to be a very long, arduous and stressful process. This caused her time off to be much longer than she had anticipated, which started to have a financial impact on her. The process involved many meetings with Department of Communities and Justice and other government departments, counselling, court hearings, meetings with out-of-home care, paperwork, and numerous other tasks to finally be formally recognised as a foster parent, which eventually came through in April of 2021. During this time, the Essential Energy Enterprise Agreement negotiations had come around. Ruth was determined to make changes to the parental leave clause, as she didn't want anyone else to go through what she went through, and felt that anyone who becomes a foster carer or guardian should be entitled to parental leave to assist in supporting them financially as they navigate the process. Ruth undertook extensive research into what other organisations had in place for employees with regards to parental leave for foster carers and guardians, and found very little organisations extended their parental leave entitlements to this. The first negotiations occurred in June 2021. Nervous but determined, Ruth composed herself, and when the item was brought up for discussion, she opened up and told her story. There was not a dry eye in the room. Essential Energy agreed to the USU claim, and not only agreed to foster carers and guardians being entitled to parental leave, but to extending parental leave entitlements to 18 weeks from 14 weeks, and extending secondary caregivers' entitlements from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. They introduced new clauses to provide leave for stillbirth and miscarriage, and the payment of superannuation on parental leave. Ruth was integral in negotiations for all of these improvements for USU members, even though she knew that she wasn't entitled to any of it herself. She was just happy that she could use her story to assist others. But it didn't stop there. She's gone on to be a vocal advocate for the recognition of better entitlements for grandparents, and this year, Ruth was able to reunite her grandchild to the full custody of the previous carer. Not many are able to achieve this. In fact, of the 70% of carers that are kinship carers, only around 2% are returned. Ruth's a true inspiration to all of us, and we were so happy and proud to have her recognised with the USU Betty Spears Award at this year's conference. I can think of no more outstanding female delegate than Ruth. I congratulate her on the award and her achievements and look forward to supporting her with her ongoing advocacy. Thank all the members of the USU Women's Committee for their work and their General Secretary, Graham Kelly, for his ongoing support of this event.